Remember this, the dilemma and the absolute conundrum that stands before the most powerful man in the world, Joe Biden, who's on his way to Israel. He lands tomorrow. And a man who is perhaps the angriest world leader at this moment. Benjamin Netanyahu and President Biden will be meeting tomorrow, not for the first time. They've met several times before, including earlier this year in New York. But this time, there will have to be a meeting of minds. Both these leaders have spoken at least on 4 occasions since the Hamas terror attack on October the 7th. Solidarity has been expressed with Israel, but the dilemma now is for Netanyahu that his biggest ally, the source of huge numbers of Israeli funding, President Biden, the United States, that big nation, has asked Israel to exercise caution and not go in for a ground invasion of Israel. The tanks are already massed along the border with Gaza. The Israeli war machine is primed and ready for a ground invasion, and nobody knows how long that will actually last or what that endgame could actually be. But at this precise moment, the dilemma remains: will Israel roll in, or will they listen to President Biden? I'd like to show you what the world looks like right now in terms of who's supporting Israel and who's supporting the Palestinian side. Here are the countries that are currently solidly supporting Israel. India, and even though it has a nuanced stance, the United States, UK, France, Australia, Germany, UAE, Norway, and Canada. These are countries that support Israel, though, as I said, like UAE and India, there are nuanced stances. Both those countries also are in favor of a peaceful two-state solution. Here are the countries that are backing Hamas and Hamas terrorists: Qatar, Lebanon, Pakistan, which has hilariously sent humanitarian aid despite its own decrepit state, Kuwait, Afghanistan, Yemen, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. So that's what the world map looks like right now in terms of which countries are supporting Israel and which ones are supporting the other side. Let's go across now and get a word in from India today. Is Rajesh Pawar joining us live from Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel. Rajesh, good to see you. President Biden arrives in Tel Aviv tomorrow. Rajesh, the war machine is fully ready for what has been expected for a while to be a ground invasion or a ground operation in Gaza. The Biden administration has asked Israel not to do so. What is the sense you're getting? How is this going to play out?
Shiv, first of all, good to be with you again after a long time. It feels good. And with regards to the overall situation, look, there are a lot of factors in play right here. There's build-up around Gaza. Israel was ready to go in for a ground offensive about 4 days back, but that ground offensive, which seemed to be imminent, has not come through. There are various factors to that. Hezbollah, which was supposed to have intervened on the side of Hamas from Lebanese side, has not really done so. They have bombarded. There was a little bit of artillery exchange, but that was nothing major as such as of now. So everything hinges around this visit of President Biden tomorrow and what he says. In my view, this is probably a visit to give a clear message to Iran that America is with Israel, and in case Iran intervenes in any way, directly or through Hezbollah or in any way through a proxy war, then America will intervene. Secondly, I think America is also trying to give a message that somehow this whole thing should be solved diplomatically, but this is just a pause so that the hostages which are still held by Hamas can somehow be returned back to Israel. But this war will not stop at that. This will escalate. It's just a matter of time how it goes. Will it be just Hamas, or will Hezbollah and Iran will also get involved? Time will tell. Sure.
And Rajesh, Biden's priority, it appears, is going to be to ensure this does not become a wider conflict, because that will mean the US will, be forced to get embroiled. So the picture you're painting is very correct. That is the real dilemma for the United States right now, to contain this situation to just Israel and Gaza. But is that going to happen?
Look, Shiv, these things are very complicated. What appears on the surface is normally not true.
Yeah.
What you see is normally not the aim. you know, the wires are intertwined between Ukraine and Israel and Iran and Russia. Everything is connected. Today, a motion moved by Russia in the United Nations Security Council has fallen. They want to do a ceasefire. And a ceasefire, that is what Israel does not want. That is what the US does not want, because any kind of ceasefire will give time to Hamas to regroup, which Israel does not want. But at the same time, Israel wants the hostages back. So it's quite a delicate situation. And I think the whole game is being played right now. So somehow, through diplomatic pressure, through intermediaries sitting in Qatar or in Iran, the hostages are taken back. And after that, I think Israel will go whole hog in Hamas, in Hamas-held area in Gaza. And I think American troops will be a deterrence for Hezbollah, so that two-front war is not open for Israel. Shiv.
Okay. Thanks very much, Rajesh. Thanks very much for staying with us on that story.